Good evening, everybody. This is Thursday night political hot seat. I have a candidate here running for district judge, and it is the district judge, Robert Lane. Anyway, to start off, I want everybody to know this is a live call-in show at 727-8750. 727-8750, and it's a live call-in show. Any questions you wish to ask, we'd be more than happy to take them. And let's see. Tonight we will have 2 trivia questions. And so first I will introduce our candidate, and it's Mr. Lane, Judge Lane.
Good evening.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank
Good.
you. Thank you for having me on.
Well, once again, you're running for re-election as the judge.
Yes, sir. I first ran in 2000, so 14 years now.
14
Up for
years.
re-election again. It's part of the process. It's how the system works. It's a good country.
Well, that's good to hear. Obviously, the people are happy with you being the judge in the district. Okay, you cover Nye County and
Mineral County and Esmeralda County. The farthest north courthouse that we have is in Hawthorne, which is about a 4.5-hour drive away. We also do Tonopah, Goldfield, and Pahrump is where our 4 courtrooms are.
okay. Well, then you got to cover quite a bit of distance.
We do, and it's quite a circuit drive. We're driving through the desert long distances. That's why those guys came in from Hollywood a few months ago wanting to make a TV show with Judge Wonker and I, a reality TV show of traveling circuit judges. And they're going to be shipping it off to A&E and the Learning Channel and the History Channel. And in the next few months, we should know if they're going to have a reality show with us or not. That'll be fun and interesting.
Well, let's see. We're going to have that, and then I think that cop show is here with the sheriffs.
Pahrump's going to be famous.
Oh, yeah, we hope.
It's a requirement to live in Pahrump and work in Pahrump that you have to be a character. That's why they make all these shows. You got to wear funny hats or carry a flag or do something. And
do something.
Since there's a requirement to be a character, we make good TV shows out here.
I guess. Yeah, so once again, you do have an opponent for District 5, and I don't know, she hasn't come on the TV or anything yet, but I know I have nothing negative to say about anybody, but you have been in the seat for so long that I think people just are accustomed to you being there.
Well, you know, the good thing about experience is we have the second busiest jurisdiction in the state of Nevada. We have at least 2,700 cases per judge per year. So over the course of 14 years, I've done over 30,000 cases, hundreds of trials, evidentiary hearings, ruled on just about everything. I've done murder trials, sexual assault trials. Everything I do gets appealed up to the Supreme Court. I've been upheld on almost every case. There's a few minor decisions where they reversed me, like on recalculating the damages, or they changed the law in service of process, minor things. But I've never had to redo a trial, never had a mistrial. You remember Judge Davis, he had a few trials he had to redo, and that cost money. And so I'm really proud of my record. I don't know if there's any other judge in Nevada that has as good a record as I do.
Well, then I guess after this, you'll probably be running for what?
No, I'm very happy here. My kids are here. They're all in school. I got my special needs little boy with autism, and this is my home and my community. My kids were all born here and grew up here. Bobby's away on his mission now in London, England. Hannah's getting ready to go off to BYU, Idaho for college this fall. Spencer's going into 8th grade, and my 15-year-old Baden is the special needs boy. And yeah, they all grew up here and took piano lessons and martial arts and all this stuff. This is home for us. So even if somebody called me up from Vegas and said, we want you for the Supreme Court, I'd say no thanks. I'd pass.
Well, now, district judge, that's like one step below the Supreme Court, right?
Correct.
So they review everything?
Yeah, all the criminal convictions usually get appealed up to them. Major civil trials, we've had a lot of complex litigation involving taxes and, of course, the town versus the state and other complex litigation that's all been appealed up. And it doesn't matter. I've been upheld on all of them.
Oh, you handle that then? The town problems and
I did.
county problems and everything?
Yeah, I don't recuse. I try and stay neutral. I'm in a black hole now. In the old days when I was a prosecutor up in Tonopah, the cops and lawyers would all come and talk to me about what's going on, and I knew everything. in the community. Now, as the judge, I'm in a black hole. Nobody talks to me, and they can't because it'd be ex parte.
Yeah.
So the only thing I ever get news from is maybe the paper now and then or something. Cases come into me, they're brand new to me. I hear all the litigation. I decide on the law. I take the facts, apply it to the law, say, here's my decision. Of course, you know, the bad thing about that is when I make decisions, some people get torqued. You know, they didn't get custody of the kid or they lost the civil matter. Then they go around and tell people stories that aren't true. But that comes with the job, you know.
That's almost like running for sheriff.
Yeah, that's a job I'd pass. But yeah, I mean, if you talk to the lawyers here in the community, the clerks, the staff, they'll all tell you that I'm really fair in there. I got a sense of humor. I've never held court where I haven't talked to the people in court and said, is there anything else you'd like to say? Is there anything else you want to tell me? And I let them say everything they want to say before I make my decision.
Yeah, well, you know, being a judge and being in law enforcement and that, you're ruling for one and maybe possibly against another.
Yeah.
And the ones are going to have negative things to say.
Sometimes, yep.
Because they're mad because you didn't rule in their favor.
Right.
And the same as law enforcement. You arrest somebody, that person you arrested normally isn't going to like you.
Yep.
So
I try and make fair decisions and try and reach compromises where both sides walk out of court kind of happy, a little bit annoyed, but you know, it's a good, fair decision. And I do that a lot.
Yeah. Well,
sometimes, though, the people we deal with have mental illness. There's a lot of that in our society now because they closed up all the mental health homes back in the old days under Reagan. They put people out, and so our jails and prisons are just filled with mentally ill people. And then they self-medicate with drugs, and it's a constant battle in our in our society. And then, you know, they threaten to kill the judge, and they go crazy, and they say things on the internet that aren't true. But, you know, that, like I said, that comes with the job. That's why I get $5 an hour or so. Maybe even less after my wife and kids are done with it.
Well, yeah, after they get done with it, you're lucky you got anything.
I probably don't.
I know. I'm married. I got kids too. But anyway, talking about that, you're basically talking about a lot of the homeless people and a lot of the situations. People all feel sorry for these homeless people and that, which I understand why you could, but a lot of them are just out there for the freebies, what they could get from the state. I had one explain to me how I could get Social Security disability and how easy it would be, you know.
We have a lot of that in our society today, and I'm really proud. When I was in high school, I worked 2 jobs to help my mom pay bills.
Yeah.
And then I went in the Navy, and my whole life I've worked. I've never had unemployment or disability or welfare, and I'm really proud of that. In today's society, that's a unique thing to be able to say.
Yeah, but the thing is nobody really wants these people in their neighborhood. And so what is society, what would you think society would do with some of these people? I mean, it's like, do you want 1 or 2 or 3 people living in the you know, salt cedars behind your house?
The way I always explain things like this to people is with the speech I make about the Constitution and the founders. The founders said, on one side of the pendulum, you have anarchy, no government at all. On the other side, you have a dictatorship, total government. And the founders were trying to find the right balance between the two. It's the same with the criminal justice system. Sometimes people say we're too hard on people at sentencing. Sometimes they say we're too soft. And the law is always changing as we try and find that right pendulum spot. It's the same with the homeless. There's a part of us that say, go out and get a job, get to work. And then there's another part of us, the Christian part, that says, you know, we want to help these people. We don't want them hungry and starving and no clothes and stuff. So that pendulum's always swinging between wanting to help people and get programs for them, and at the same time, you know, get out and get a job. You're making more money collecting money on the corner than I'm making, you know.
Well, in some cases that's true, but yeah, I was just curious. I know that has nothing to do with you being a judge on those situations,
I like to shoot the breeze,
you know, too. I just always wondered about, you know, would I really want them living right on the property right next to mine, and or do we spend the tax money in that to try to provide for them? But then you got so many of them that really are just using the system to get the money.
They always say the best thing is not to give them money and to rather donate money to programs to help the homeless and so forth. But I have to admit there are times when the spirit moves me or my conscience moves me, whatever, where I give a few dollars now and then too.
Right. Well, anyway, back to
Judge Lane and
back
the
to
election.
Judge Lane and the election. Well, you're getting all geared up now. The primary is over with, and that's
Yeah, now the big push comes. They'll start having candidates nights and meet and greets, and we got some meet and greets coming up in the future, and we'll put out word probably in the paper or something and invite everybody to the meet and greet. Usually there's free food, and
free food to do it.
yeah, and get people to come out and shake my hand and ask me questions about the election. And believe me, I've been in politics now running for judge, and I hate being a politician and say being in politics, but I've been doing it now for 14 years, and there's nothing more the candidates like, the sheriff's candidates, the town board, everybody, than for you to just, the commissioners, just walk up and ask them questions. Why should I vote for you? Why are you running? Those kind of things.
Well, that's where we're fortunate here in Nye County, because people do get to meet the people running for the office.
Yeah.
I mean, you could live in a place like when I went to school in San Diego and that, you wouldn't even know who your city councilman or your commissioner, if they were living next door to you, wouldn't even know it.
You can go to our local political events and meet the governor and the senator and stuff. You can't do that in California.
Oh, yeah, I know that. And that's how come we're so fortunate here, and that's why people need to register to vote and go out and vote, because we don't want to hear you complaining after the election's
But I
over
would give
with.
another piece of advice. Go to events, talk to the candidates, but at the same time, when you read on the internet that Judge Lane beats his wife when he leaves sex clubs and all the other crazy rumors they throw out about politicians and stuff, take them all with a grain of salt. Wait, ask the politician, is it true that you stole money from the kids' Little League fund or whatever?
Yeah, well, that's the thing about today with the computer and the internet and Facebook and all that stuff. People just say things, and
anonymously.
I guess some people believe if it's on the internet, it has to be true.
Yeah. I saw a
because
picture.
somebody put it there, But I just think everybody should go out and meet the candidates, talk to the candidates.
People come to me occasionally and say, Bob or Robert, whatever they call me, who should I vote for sheriff or who should I vote for commissioner? And what I always tell people is, every candidate has their pros and cons. Write them down. One guy may be a good administrator, another guy may be good in court, another one may be a good sheriff out on the street. And you got to write down their pros and cons and figure out who the best candidate is.
All right. Well, I have people ask me that all the time, and then being on the show, I just tell them, you call in, you can ask the questions. Don't ask me to ask the questions. And who I vote
I can't
for
tell you
is
one
my
race,
business.
though, who the best candidate is. Vote for Judge Lane.
Judge Lane. All right, we're
He's a
going to go
good
to
guy.
a commercial, or we're going to commercial right now, and we'll be back right after these messages.